Yo, what's up with y'all, man? I hope you're doing good. If you're new and you're a fan of the NBA, subscribe to this channel. So let's get straight into it.
Money longer, shout out bros, and keep my eyes in the sky, cause that's where I'm moving. Say they wanna read my mind.
Now, before I start, alright, I gotta state these two things. This entire video right here is all in my opinion. And I'm basing this entire list off of who I truly believe has what it takes to become an NBA star one day. Now, we could look back at this video 4 to 6 years from now, and I could either look really stupid for placing some of these guys on this list, or I could look like a freaking genius. In reality though, nobody knows how these guys will pan out. They haven't even played their first NBA game yet. So all this is just a wild guess, I guess. Oh, and for all those people who might get pressed because I didn't put their rookie on this list, man, look, it ain't no hard feelings, alright? I just think that the rest of those guys that I left out of this list don't have as much potential of becoming a star like the rest. Does that mean that they're buns? No. Just because your guy ain't on this list doesn't mean that he's not good. So even with that being said, if you proceed to talk crazy in the comments, you, my friend, are about to catch this LeBron James 2016 NBA Finals Game 7 Hall of Fame block. Anyways, I'm done explaining potential questions that I might see in the comments. Let's for real get straight into the video. So let's start off with probably the most hated player on my list, Trey Young. Now, as most of you know, I'm a Hawks fan, and I'm just throwing this out there right now that I'm not gonna be biased towards Trey at all. And I already know that there's Hawks fans watching this right now who are on the edge of their seats waiting for me to boost this man to the extreme right now. Well, I'm not about to do that. If I did, I would be biased and pretty unfair. So I'm gonna just keep things real and organic, alright? Before the NBA draft, I said that Trey Young has the highest bang or bust potential. Ain't no in between for me. Let me tell you why I believe that so. So obviously his biggest strength is his offensive ability. He has crazy range, and due to that, ESPN and a couple other networks were meat writing his name to death and comparing him to Steph Curry, simply just because he's light-skinned and he can let it fly from dumb deep. It's a really unfair comparison because Trey Young in no way, shape, or form can be Steph Curry. But even though he can't be Steph, he still has a chance to be special in this league. Not only because of how much of a threat he is from deep, but it's also because of his playmaker and floor general potential. His ability to see the floor and make the right play is easily the most underrated aspect of his game. That, combined with his deadly range, is why he's on this list. Now, obviously, offensively, he still has some work to do. In the scoring aspect of the game, he would be so much more of an efficient scorer if he just ran around some screens and all that other little good stuff. You know, kind of like Curry and all the other elite shooters in the NBA. If he did that, he would be unlocking a whole other part of his game, and he could be averaging something like 20 to 25 points per game and 7 to 8 assists once he's in his prime, of course. If he lives up to the hype, he could easily become a top 8, 7, 6, and maybe even higher player in the league. You guys know how much people fear Steph Curry as soon as he touches the hardwood? Trey could do something similar to that and instill terror in his opponent's head and become an offensive juggernaut. Even if you yourself hate or dislike Trey for whatever reason, the potential that he has is there, and it's without a doubt undeniable. Now, of course, he has flaws, just like every other human being who ever took a breath on this earth. But if he can apply himself and become a better finisher and get a little bigger so he won't get ran defensively, if he can do all of that, watch out. Next up on my list is no does the #1 overall pick, DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton, later down the line, I'm talking 5, 6, 7, 8 years into the future, could be a top player in the league. His offensive game as a rookie is already pretty polished, and he's gonna punish a lot of other centers in the league day one because of his ability to get shots up with ease around the basket and the potential three-point shot that he could develop as soon as this year. The only real issue with him is his defensive ability. I feel like that may be the only thing that could prevent him from being a superstar in this league. But he has time. He has time, just like every other rookie in the draft, to go ahead and steadily improve on his weaknesses. Ayton and one other player on this list could easily become top 10 players in the NBA one day. He's crazy talented, skilled, and he has the body already to go out and go crazy. None of this should be a surprise, alright? He was projected to be the #1 overall pick this past year for a reason. Next up on my list is Luka Doncic. A good chunk of NBA fans aren't so high on Luka for some reason. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. If I gotta be real about it, I will. It's because he's European and played all his ball in EuroLeague. To me, even if he decided to play a year in college for some reason, he'd still be great and nothing would change in how we view him now. His skill set ain't going nowhere. Luka's entering the NBA at a time where the game benefits him the most. He's coming into the league as a 6'7" wing. Oh, I'm hungry. I ain't gonna lie. Chicken wing do something nice right now. I'm sorry, let's get back to it. He's a 6'7" wing with superb ball handling and passing ability, and he's a great nifty scorer. Nowadays, every single team in the league would get down on both knees and pray for a guy like this on their team if they don't have a player already with similar abilities. Luka looks like he'll be a pretty promising player, and I could see him being a top shooting guard, small forward, point guard, or whatever position he plays. He'll be one of the best at what he does because of his size, scoring, passing ability, and the direction the NBA is heading into right now. Oh, and the situation that he's in Dallas too. Luka is damn near destined to be a star in this league in my eyes. Towards the future, maybe 4 to 5 years in the NBA from now, Luka could be viewed as a top 10 to 15 player in the NBA, and he has the potential to go out and average 20 to 24 and 8 eventually in his career. Everything is going in his favor right now, and nothing should stop him from fulfilling his potential. Collin Sexton, otherwise known as Young Bull. Screw his game. Before we get into his talent and all that other stuff, I want to throw all that out of the window right now. Collin's approach to the game already is a sight to see. He plays with unmatched intensity. To me, every time he steps on the floor, it looks like he'd rather lose an arm before losing a game. His motor almost reminds me of no other than Russell Westbrook. And that drive, that motor right there that makes him go, is going to take him a very long way in this league. And that more than likely could be the reason why he becomes a star in the future. Now Collin, he's in an interesting situation right now in Cleveland. He could easily make some shake and create some noise up there as soon as this year. So just like Luka, I believe he has all the tools necessary right now to do well right off the bat. And that should propel him and put him above other rookies, at least for now. But yeah, before I forget, let's discuss his game. Collin is a really shifty athlete who of course feeds off of his own aggression. And that aggression helps him attack and finish in the paint pretty well. Despite his below average frame, he could potentially be a top 7 to maybe even 5 point guard in the NBA one day. Now, I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound like my boy Mike Krzemba, because it seems like this is his favorite word, but to me, it doesn't look like Collin's work ethic will allow him to be average. That dog mentality could potentially mold him into a star in the NBA one day. Next on my list is Marvin Bagley. Now I'm not gonna lie, originally I wasn't gonna put him on this list because there's still parts of his game to me that could keep him back from getting to that next level. But when I watch him play, the potential is still there. The most intriguing part of his game is how well he handles the ball. When he dribbles the ball down the court in transition, he does not look like a big at all. Dude moves like a guard out there, except he's just 6'11". So because of his handle, ability to get his zone, and good motor, he could become one of the best power forwards and probably even a star power forward in the NBA one day. Now, I'm not sure if his ceiling is as high as others on this list because his jumper is still suspect, but nevertheless the potential is still there. Last but not least on my list is Kevin Knox. If you guys don't know already, I honestly deep down believe that Kevin Knox has by far the highest ceiling out of everyone else in the NBA draft. Kevin has a very unique body, skill set, and playstyle that reminds me of some of the best players in the world. He's most similar to Giannis Antetokounmpo and Kevin Durant. The amount of stardom that this dude has built inside of him is on another level compared to the rest. Kevin physically has the ability to slash the rim with ease, and his athleticism helps him get the job done quite often. I can't quite just describe it, but by just the way I see him attack the rim, he gives me Giannis vibes. Like he's just out here giving everybody free posters. So on top of his ability to get to the rim through contact, he also is a good shooter who can get his own with and without the ball in his hands. That's where the KD comparisons start to kick in. He has a high release point in his shot that makes it a little tougher to defend. And just like Kevin Durant, Kevin Knox is a pretty overlooked splits passer too. He may not be an elite passer like Trey Young and Luka Doncic on this list, but he ain't no slouch either when it comes to passing and being able to find the open man. In my opinion, Kevin has an MVP type of potential, and I would definitely not be surprised if he ended up being the best player out of this draft. Considering his age, unique playstyle, unique skill set, and frame, he could be a superstar in the making. So that's the end of my video, you guys. Trey Young, DeAndre Ayton, Luka Doncic, Collin Sexton, Marvin Bagley, and Kevin Knox are the 6 players out of this draft, in my opinion, have the best chance of becoming stars in the future. In your opinion, is there anybody on this list who doesn't deserve to be here? And is there anyone on this list who definitely deserves to be here? And what rookie do you think has the best chance of becoming a bona fide star in this league eventually? Let me know. So this is the end of the video, man. I appreciate every single second of your time spent watching this masterpiece. And like I said, let me know what you guys think down below in the comments, and I get right with you.
No way, remember back when I couldn't get a play, no home, I ain't have a place to stay, I got to work, made the surf, free the way, told my girl who'd ever